Okay, so now we are going to finish up this, we're going to construct the Zoe Satchel. You want to take your side pieces and attach them, clip them to the sides of the front piece, and we're going to sew down the sides. And you are going to want to back stitch. Use the seam allowance that she gives you. Grab your back piece, clip that together. And we're going to sew down the sides. What happened here? That's what happened. Now, if you noticed, she sews through her phone. I do not like to do that, even though I have an industrial machine and my my machine can handle that. I do not like to sew through the foam. Okay, now we'll get our bottom piece. Okay, now you want to take your bag. You want to make sure that you get your bottoms all notched in the center, your bottom notched in the centers, and you want to match your notches, and you want to clip it together just like that, all the way edge to edge, but you're only going to sew to the seam line, and you're going to stop on each side. You don't go past that seam line. So we're going to flatten it out like this, and then we're going to stitch it at the length that she tells you to, starting at that seam line. Back stitch a couple right into that line. Stop at that line and back stitch. Then you're going to do the same thing to the other side. Have it stitched, and we're going to flatten it out. Take the clip off and start right at that seam line. Ooh. Okay. Slipped on me. Okay. Now, take your scissors, and I'm going to, on this long line, I'm going to snip right and like 1/8 of an inch away from that. I'm going to have to do it one layer at a time because this pretty thick there. And don't cut into your seam. Okay. I don't think I need to do that. No, I don't need to do that. Match your notches. Flatten that out. And sew across there. Now you have to watch it because that one side has your accent buckle on it. You can feel mine right there. Again, you're only sewing up to that seam line. And then you're back stitching. Okay. Other side the same way. Match your notches. Flatten this out. Start at the seam line, back stitch, watch your buckle. And then you want to trim all of this down about 1/4 of an inch. Now here I'm going to curve up. Side, that side. Oh, I think I got. Oh, I think I need to do this one. Okay. Now you're going to turn your bag. Okay, so what I always do is I always take this and I run my finger down that seam to open it up. This is on the bottom. It just makes it so it's not so stiff. Do that on both sides. Okay, get that one. Okay, then I will usually pinch this. Take some of my bigger clips. And I will clip this to spread that apart so it's not so rounded, or puffy is what I call it. I usually do that on the front and the back side. And I may cut a little piece of Peltex, since I used a smaller thinner foam. I use like a craft foam for my, or I use Decaville Heavy, sorry. But I don't think it was, it's not as stiff as the Peltex. So I may put a piece of Peltex in the bottom underneath the lining, between the bottom of the bag and the lining, just to make it a little bit stiffer. So I usually set it off to the side like that with the bottom clipped. While I'm working on the rest of the bag. Just helps to open those seams, I think. And forms the bottom. So that's what we have so far. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? You can also do that with the sides if you want. I may do that with the sides also. So we're going to put this off to the side and we will work on the interior. Okay, so for those of you who have watched some of my previous videos, you know that I do a zipper overlay on my pockets. So I already went ahead and did that, since I have in part one, I have a step in there how to do a zipper overlay, and also I have a separate video that will show you how to do a zipper overlay, and I will link that somewhere in this video, so you can, if you struggle, you can go and watch that before you do this. So I put that on my back pocket piece. You take your side band, your side piece, and your side band, and you want to take your widest part, and it's going to be at the top, and they're going to be right sides together. Widest part at the top on both of these. And you want to top stitch, and you want to sew with the seam allowance. And back stitch. This is the inside, the side of the lining piece. flip this up. Keep your seam allowance up. We're going to flip that up, and we're going to top stitch across here. Those done. Now we're going to attach the, no, not. Or maybe we are. Are we? I do not know. I do not know. Let me check and see what we're going to do with this. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your two exterior zipper pieces and you want to mark 1/2 inch and 1 inch, 1/2 inch and 1 inch, just on those two pieces. Then you're going to take your zipper. You want to put your zipper pull on. You want to burn your edges, pull your zipper pull up to the top, take one of your panel lining pieces, and you're going to take your zipper right side up and your lining panel piece right side up. You're going to stick this on here like that. You want this edge butted all the way up to there, and you want this tail hanging over. So I'm going to put some tape on here. And this is our zipper panel piece we're going to make. Pull your paper up. And then put your zipper on there. All the way to the edge. Line up your edge. And the tape is sticking off. Okay. Then you're going to take this and you're going to pull it down here. Down to there. You want to take this apart. Then you're going to take an exterior piece and you want to match this up. I'm going to put a clip down here so my pull doesn't accidentally come off. You want to line it up here, and I'm going to tape again. Now, if you have domestic, you might want to use clips instead of tape, unless you don't mind cleaning your needle off periodically. Okay, this piece will be face down. Match it up. All your edges should match. Then we're going to sew here, back stitch, go all the way up here, and back stitch. That's not right. No. That is not right. We want to take some of this tape off. Sorry. I had to think about this. Yeah, this is what we want to do. Okay. I would put your tape maybe 2 inches from this top. So we're going to start stitching here. And we're going to stitch up to here. And when we get to this 1 inch mark, we're going to take our zipper and we're going to angle it over. So it's like that. Okay. Actually, I think I'm going to pin it right now, or clip it right now. There. Okay. So you should have it like that. Okay, so you want your zipper tail hanging out here. Make sure your pole is up. Start at that 1/2 inch mark. You're going to sew at 1/4 inch seam allowance. Back stitch. Pull your zipper piece out and fold it so it's like that. Back stitch. Go to the 1/2 inch mark and back stitch. Okay. Now, you're going to want to cut that off. You're going to want to cut your tail off. Ew. Burn that edge. Then we are going to stitch at this 1/2 inch mark here across this way. Trim that down, and you want to trim your corner down. Then you're going to fold this out. Oop. Take something pokey to push that corner out. Pull this like that, clip around. here. Clip around here. Then you want to take these. I don't want to do that. I'm going to fold those. Yeah, fold that down to the line. Fold that down to the line. Like that. This is kind of wonky. Kind of wonky. Do that. And I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to take these and flip them down. There we go. There we go. Then we're going to top stitch around here. Okay? I'm going to start down here. And I'm going to secure this bottom just for grins and giggles. And I need to wind my bottom. Okay. Should look like that. Okay. I'm going to wind my bobbin and we will do the other side. Okay. So now we're going to do the other end. Woo! We're going to take our other lining piece. And we're going to put tape on it. do we want to? I think we're going to do this. Take your paper over your tape. Take your zipper, lay it so it is up here. Butt the end of it. Make sure it's right side up, and your lining panel piece is right side up. And you want to take your exterior piece. I'm going to use clips this time. Okay. Put your tail out that way. And you want to start on your 1/2 inch mark, 1/4 inch seam allowance, back stitch, now once you get here, you want to pick your foot up and you want to angle that zipper out. And you want that fold to be under there. Fold the zipper. Put your foot down. Back stitch at that line. Come up to the 1/2 inch line and back stitch. Okay? Actually, I'm going to pivot at that 1/2 inch mark, and I might continue 1/2 inch seam allowance on my zipper panel. Cut your threads. Now you're going to take this, clip it off, and melt that edge down of the zipper so it doesn't fray over time. Ooh, it got hot. You're going to cut this off, trim it down to about 1/4 inch. Clip your corner off, but don't get it in the seam allowance. Just clip it so you can turn it. Then your bottom end, you want to fold that up, clip it, fold this up, clip it, and you're going to want to stitch. I see why she's doing that, because it's an easy way to make that even. See how even that is? Just by folding it. You don't have to actually fold, just fold it as much as you need to make it even. your zipper straight here, back stitch. Okay. I don't think I wanted to do that, did I? Maybe not. That was not right. All right. There is your zipper panel. And I am going to put this on the end of mine instead of a fabric or vinyl tab. I like these better. I like these metal zipper ends better, but I will put this on at the very end. So I'm going to sew across here. So when I'm messing with my zipper panel, trying to sew it on my lining piece, my zipper pull doesn't actually accidentally fall off. I like to do that on my zippers because I always get nervous that the zipper pull is going to fall off. It's just a me thing. You don't have to do it if you don't want. There, that should be secure. All right. Next, oh, we already did these pieces here. So next we'll be attaching this to the lining, and then we'll be attaching the side panels and the base piece. And then we'll be putting the bag together and top stitching, and it'll be done. Okay, so now you're going to take your zipper panel piece and you're going to work on your back lining piece first. That would be the one with the overlay on it. You want it so your zipper is on your left hand side, facing up. You want your zipper panel with your zipper pull on the left hand side, facing up. And you want your top band piece facing down. Now you want to match up all your centers. The center of your back lining piece, the center of your zipper panel, and the center of your top band. All those notches should match up, and then you want to clip it across the top, and we're going to sew it at the seam allowance that she gives you. And you will backstitch. You've got 3 thicknesses there, so you may need a hump jumper to get over that edge part. Yep, I got cattywampus there. I'm going to have to go back and stitch that straight across. fix it. Make my line straight. There we go. And you're going to take this, clip these off. And you're going to flip this up like that, push it up, and you're going to top stitch across there. Look like that. And then we'll do the other side. Line your centers up. Take your top band, line the center up on there. And repeat the same steps. Flip that up and top stitch. And it should all look like that. And this should look like this. Okay? Now we will go and put the sides on. Now you're going to take your one piece that has your front and back on it and your zipper pocket panel, and you're going to lay it out like that. Then you're going to take your side pieces. Now what I did was I took my zipper and this piece over here and kind of put a paper clip on it, or a clip, to get it out of the way so I don't accidentally sew over my zipper or this piece that hangs out there. So put your side pieces that you sewed together, right sides together against the back piece, no, the front piece. Clip it down the sides. Take your other one and clip it down this side, and then we're going to sew at the seam allowances that she gives you. And you do want a back stitch. After you turn your machine on. Now I'm going to have to pull this up, otherwise I will run over that piece, and kind of fold it over to get it out of the way. Okay, here's that side. I'm going to do this one. Stab myself. So then you can open that up. Take that off. Paper clip off, and then you're going to attach these. Now make sure that when you attach these you are matching. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to bring you over here because my lighting is messed up. Make sure that these seams are even. That is very important to get that even, otherwise your top band will be a little bit wonky, and you don't want a wonky top band. No wonky top bands. Okay, so, and match your top up here. And then do the same thing over on this side. I usually match my band up first, the seam of my band first. And you will notice that will stick out just a little bit. We're going to clip that off. And then we're going to take this and fold it back so it's out of the way. So you kind of fold it down like that so it's out of your way. And you're going to sew at the seam allowance given. And then take this, fold it down, and do the same thing. Oh, what happened? Well, cooperating with me. There we go. Okay. Get out of the way. Oh, no, hold that over. Let's get away from us. Okay. Jeez, I'm all thumbs. All right. So it should look like that. It'll look like this on the inside. And now we're going to, I would pull that zipper closed. And I will take that tail and put it up there. And now we are going to do the bottom, okay? I gotta let my dog in. She's barking. Excuse me a minute. Okay, the next step is to take your bottom piece and clip it down. Make sure you got your centers notched and match your notches. And then on the other side, you're going to make a mark a 1/2 inch in on this side and a 1/2 inch in on this side, because you are only going to sew inside that marking. You don't want to go past the marking, and we do want a top stitch. So I'm going to put my bag like this, And I'm going to sew at the seam allowance she gives. Make sure everything is up out of the way, because it tends to get folded down in there and you run over pieces that you shouldn't be sewing. So make sure you only got your front and back piece here. I am going to go over this another time. I'll show you how I do it. I'm going to stop at that mark I made and back stitch. Okay, so I am going to flip my pocket up. If you want, you can clip your pocket up out of the way. So if you can see my line here, I am going to go just a tad bit on the other side of that line and make another seam line just for a reinforcement for the bottom, because sometimes we tend to carry a little bit more in our bag than what we should, and that lining rips out sometimes. It's just like a reinforcement stitch to give it the bottom of the bag a little bit extra strength. And again, sew in between those lines. Now, on the next side, you're going to match up your notch. You're going to clip here and here, and then you're going to clip on the other side of that clip. But down here, you're going to make your line again, your 1/2 inch line. You are only going to sew to about right there, because you want about a 6 to 8 inch 6 to 8 inch hole, so you can pull your bag through. So all of this, well, maybe we're gonna, yeah. Now I'm gonna take those off. Okay. So we're gonna sew from this 1/2 inch line that we made down to the other side of this clip. This 1/2 inch line down to the other side of this clip. We want all of this open, so when we turn our bag. And use the seam allowance that she gives you in the pattern. Back stitch. And we're going right to where my finger is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pivot like this. This will help to make your fold into the bottom of the bag when you get to the end. this one. I'm going to go from here. There. I'm going to go back on this one. I know you think I'm goofy. But I want to make my little, mark here. That way when you go in to put your fingers in there to make this, that fold will automatically follow along there. You'll see when we get done. So now we're going to do our sides. Sew half an inch, right on the other side of your stitch mark. You want to make your lines. So we're going to sew in between those stitch marks. Back stitch. Back stitch. Okay. Oh, my machine's doing pretty good on cotton today. Normally it gives me fits. And this is a really lightweight cotton too. Okay, same thing on this end. Find your ends. And you're going to sew inside those stitch marks. Clip all that extra off, and you will want to trim it down to about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. So you're going to clip this off. You want to clip your corners. Side. I shouldn't have used that piece of. And don't clip this other side where you got the opening, but do clip the other side. Okay. All right, we're going to clip these off. there is your lining with your little opening for turning. And now we're going to take this and we're going to unzip. And we are going to stick the bag in there, and then we are going to turn it, and we'll sew it to the top, and then we'll turn it and top stitch it. Okay, let me show you that again, because the camera wasn't on, of course. All right, so you want your inside pocket facing back. You want your outside pocket facing front. You want to fold your handles down as best as you can. And you want to grab this and kind of squish it like that. And put it inside the bag, the lining. Make sure your handles stay down. And stick your hand in that hole that you made in the lining. Grab that one set of handles and pull them through. And try and grab the ones in the back and pull them through. If you can't, just pull them out of the way. Take your exterior piece and match your notch up to the lining piece. Then you want this collar, you want to match that collar up all the way around. Open up your seams, butterfly them if you can, if you got enough. I think I cut my inside piece down a little bit more than what I should have, and I need a bigger clip. Get 4 big clips. So match up your seams. Make sure those are matched on the side and clip it. Match up your other seam on the side and clip it. At least make sure that your top band piece is butterflied at the seam. Then even out the center of the side piece. And clip it. Now go to your back piece, find your notch, and match it up to your lining notch, and clip it. Also match your collar piece. Over here and do the same on this side. I do appreciate the way she made her pattern because everything lines up perfectly if you followed her seam allowances. If you got a problem, then you didn't do the seam allowance right. But that's most generally with any bag. Match your seam on the side. Match this other seam on the side. I'm gonna open that up, but it won't open. And then match this back collar up. And clip. And now I am going to sew like this on the inside. Whoops. Like this on the inside. It's just easier for me to do it that way on my flatbed. Okay, so we will take this over to the machine and we will get to sewing. We're almost there, girl. Okay, I am going to start in the center of the back of this bag. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Oh. It's a little hairy sometimes doing these bags. Even with an industrial. Hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna go back over. That needs to come down more. That needs to come out. I got backwards on this corner here, so I'm going to go over it. So I need to go down here, down, and over. Yes, got it. Okay, bear with me here. I think, oh, that looks, I think I need to go down farther, down, over, up, and over. Okay. I'm going to have more of a square than a rounded collar, but that's fine. There. Now we will trim this off, trim it up, and turn it. So go ahead and trim all of your tops around there, and then we will turn the bag. Okay, so now we are going to turn this bag. So we're going to pull everything through this hole down here. Go very slow so you don't rip your lining. Kind of bunch it up. Pull and tug. Do what you have to do to get it out of there. But don't tug too hard. Watch your buckles so you don't rip your lining on your buckles that are your accent buckles. Take that clip off. Squish it and pull. Squish it and pull. Whew, yeah. All right. Now we are going to see that those little notches there didn't really work very well. You want to pull your lining up out of the way, your zipper out of the way, because you are going to fold this down. You want to get your big clips. Fold that down. Big clips. There's going to be a lot of make sure you butterfly those seams with your fingers on the corners of the sides. Because if you're sewing on a domestic, you're going to run into some problems. I may even bust a needle on this. Yeah, I hate to say, but that corner, that collar piece didn't really do much, I don't think. make sure that you pull your lining up out of the way because you don't want it in the way when you sew over here. And your zipper. Get your zipper out of the way. Okay. So just fold it down as best you can. And then we're going to top stitch. With big clips. Yeah, I'm going to struggle on that. I can tell right now. Yeah, that's thick. Even for my industrial. I'm probably going to go top stitch up to there and then stop. I don't think my industrial ain't gonna make it over that. No way. Not unless I use a huge needle. Yeah. Okay. So now we are going to top stitch around here, if we can. All right, here we go. You know what? I think I'm going to try and do it. I'm actually afraid to top stitch it. All right. Do not backstitch. I'm sweating, girls. I'm sweating. This is a good time for a sewing yarn. Get that zipper out of the way. Coming around the corner. We're almost there. right, we did that. I'm going to tie these off and burn them, and then we will sew up the inside. Okay, so I am going to put this plastic sheeting webbing. I got this at Dollar Tree, I believe it was. Yeah, Dollar Tree. It comes in 12 by 12 sheets, and I'm going to put it underneath the lining in the bottom of the bag to give the bottom a little bit more stability. Now, I'm not going to tack it in. I'm just going to slide it in through this hole. Slide it in through this hole here, and I may have to cut it down a little bit more. Just kind of place it down there. Nope, I don't have to cut it down. It fits nice and tight. There. And that'll give that bottom just a little bit, just a tiny bit more stability. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our lining. We're going to pull it out. You're going to take your fingers and you're going to tug it like that. And that edge, because you made those little tack marks going up towards the little curve, that will automatically fold, make a fold for you. And you are going to clip that, and then we're going to sew it, and that will close up the bag, the bottom of the bag. Now you can sew it on your machine, or if you know how to do, I think it's called a blind stitch, you can do a blind stitch so you don't have that seam there, but I haven't learned how to do a blind stitch yet. As long as I've been sewing, I haven't learned how to do a blind stitch. Oh. So we're going to sew across there, and that's going to sew up that hole. And I'm going to turn my stitch down to like just under 4. And you want to sew like maybe an 1/8 or a 1/16 away from the edge. So very close so you don't have as much as a seam sticking out. Okay, that's closed up. Now you want to push your lining back down in there, and oh, that feels fitting nice and good. Inside of the bag looks like that. It's nice and tight fitting. The lining is snug. We have our zipper here. Oh, we got to put the zipper pull on yet. And there you have it. I'm going to put the zipper pull on, and then we are done with the Zoe Satchel. So to do the zipper end, I like using metal ones. I will cut the end of the zipper at an angle. I will put freight check on the end. Put freight check on the end of the zipper. Then I will stick some tacky glue just a dab inside the hole of the zipper thing. I will fold these down so you just see the zipper teeth, and I will put that in there. Turn it over. Where's my... Get one of these little tiny screws. Put it in the hole there. Get my little tiny screwdriver. And just screw that little baby in there. And then tug on it and it doesn't come off. And that is a little zipper end. I like these better. I think they look more classy. So there is the Zoe Satchel. Isn't that cute? Got your zipper here, your front zipper for like keys and stuff. You got your zipper in the front for like your front keys. Nice snug lining. Your zipper overlay pocket for your phone. Your recessed zipper, and all of your cute little accent pieces, little buckles. And I did not put the shoulder strap on because I think this is good enough. I may attach it later. And that is the Zoe Satchel. Thank you for sewing along with me. Thank you for being patient with my mistakes. I know I made a lot of them. I'm learning though. Trust me, I sew better when I'm not on camera. I make a lot of mistakes when I'm on camera. I think that's a cute little bag. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you come back and join me for other sewing projects, and you all have a great Sunday. See you later on my next sewing adventure. Bye.